Once the gel has finished equilibrating for 10 minutes, we're going to go ahead and pour some transfer buffer in the container with the gel, with the sponges. And then we'll use this roller to start getting the bubbles out. And then the cassette, you'll notice, is two colors, the black and the clear. We want the black to stay on the bottom every time and be consistent with that. We'll move the sponges up, and we're going to take one sponge and put it on the bottom. And then we're going to roll the bubbles out of the sponge, and I'm going to just kind of poke at it with my fingers and make sure that there's no bubbles left in the sponge. Because if there's bubbles in there, it's going to prevent the proteins from transferring. So then I'll take one set of 2 filter papers and I'll put them in there, and I'm going to put them in there at an angle so that there won't be any bubbles trapped underneath them. So that goes on next. Then the gel goes on after that, and I'm just going to pick it up very gently. And when I pick it up, I'm going to look for the corner that I cut, which is this corner up here by my finger, and I'm going to set the gel down on top of the filter paper, and I'm going to put the corner in the upper right hand side that's cut. And then I'm going to grab my forceps and pick up by the edges my nitrocellulose, and it's got the corner cut on the right top side, and I'm going to place it the same configuration on top of my gel. And I'm going to make sure that it covers the gel the exact same way. And when I get it placed the way I like it, then I'm going to put a second set of 2 filter papers on top, and I'm going to start on one side. And again, I'm going to put them down at an angle to make sure that there's no bubbles trapped underneath. And when I did that, you can see it kind of moved the filter paper sandwich, but that's okay. I'm just going to move it up a little bit, and then I'm going to move it back. I'm going to move the whole thing back where I want it to be. And then I'm going to use the roller again to make sure that there's no bubbles underneath. And then I'm going to add the last sponge. And if you think at this point you need a little bit more buffer, add the buffer from the membrane, because there's no SDS that is leached out from the gel. So you're not adding any SDS to it. And then use your roller again to make sure that there's no bubbles in there. And again, I'm going to tap it with my fingers and be absolutely certain that there's no bubbles in there. And it looks really good to me. And I'm going to look at the placement of the filter paper, and then that looks good. And then I'm going to make sure that this white piece is up, and I'm going to pull the 2 together like that, bring that down and squeeze them together. So pick it up the same way you put the sandwich together and bring it over to the transfer unit, and you want to put it in so that the black is facing the black of the unit and the clear is facing the red, so that you have it in the correct orientation for transfer. Now we're ready to transfer. I'm going to top the buffer up to about here with fresh transfer buffer. I'm going to put the lid on so that it is black to black, red to red. Make sure it fits on there appropriately, and then plug it into our power supply, again, black to black, red to red, and we're going to transfer it 100 volts for 1 hour.